In world news, Indian authorities are pushing back as nationwide protests mount over its controversial citizenship law. Hundreds of protesters have been detained and strict bans imposed on public gatherings in several areas. It comes after a week of massive protests across the country, which have left at least 6 dead and dozens more wounded. Several metro stations in New Delhi have been shut, and internet services in parts of the capital have also been cut. Our correspondent Ishan Garg has more.
This is just one of the many protests organized all across New Delhi and rather all across India. The metropolitan cities of India, Delhi, Mumbai and Bangalore are leading the way. The protesters here were not granted permission to protest at this very iconic site at the Lal Killa, the Red Fort. This is the place where the Prime Minister gives his Independence Day speech from. They were not granted permission to protest here, but they defied the law. They defied the curfew which has been imposed in this particular location, and they still turned up. The police are now, as the protesters come in, they are packing them away in little buses and they're being driven off to a different location. We're not quite sure if they're being held under detention or they're just being moved to a different location as of now. Something very interesting about this protest has been that it's been largely youth-led. The protests which broke out just a couple of days ago in Jamia Millia University in other part of New Delhi were also a student protest, and the protesters gathered here today are also largely very young. This sends a signal to the government that the youth of this country is not quite happy with the policies that it is putting forward. The people who have been protesting here say that they are against the Citizenship Amendment Act, and they say that the bill is communal in nature, it's divisive in nature. The government has denied such claims. It has said time and again that the bill is an inclusion, it's a bill of inclusion, and it's a bill that will bring into the Indian fold many persecuted minorities from the different countries which are neighboring India. Another important part of this protest has been internet shutdown. Internet was cut off in central Delhi at this very prime location for hours today, and this has been a signature of many protests which has been organized all across India in the past 2 years. Just a report that came out a few days ago made India at the top of the charts of countries which have shut down protests by shutting down internet. Ishan Garg, CNA, New Delhi.